Because I like to suffer, today we took out the A6M5 Go with a level 1 crew. And nothing is upgraded, literally stock out of the box. And this is more of a preview to the video I'm gonna do regarding the crew points, on what to spend them, and what it's like to fly a level 1 crew. So this is gonna be basically the follow-up to a video I'm still making, if that makes any sense. This makes a lot more sense whenever I will do the actual video. I will just commentate on this video like I normally do, but I will reference to this one when I make the video about crew points. So first things first, it's a slow plane, so you don't notice the G's as much, but of course it's still a zero, so you turn very well. You have to keep this in mind, because right now I'm pulling 11 G's, and when you're playing a prop that's relatively slow, stamina and the G lock is not much of a problem. But of course, once you start going fast and you start pulling 12 G's, you can see that you pass out extremely fast. And if you compare this to my other videos where I can pull 12 G's for a good 6 seconds, this is definitely a handicap, and you will see more and more of that later on in the video. At the start it's not as bad, because I'm not really trying to turn as hard, I'm trying to conserve my energy somewhat, but I'm trying to play it as balls to the wall as possible. I'm not playing on my own account, which is why my name is different, so don't worry about that one. But all in all, crew points are a very tedious thing, and that's mostly because Gaijin does a pretty poor job on explaining how it works, which is worth it, what it exactly does. Because say when you look at awareness, what does awareness really do? In the end it's pretty useless, because it's auto spotting, so when someone gets close enough and you're not looking at them, at what range do they show up on your radar? Which in my opinion, if you keep looking around, is kind of a waste of crew points. But without further ado, let's go right into the gameplay, because that's what most of you are here for. So the Zero, it's slow, it turns amazingly well. This one has pretty decent cannons, but you have to keep in mind that this is the premium one. I'm not too sure if you can still buy it. If you can, is it worth your money? I would say yes, because it comes in a pack with the XP38, as well as this thing, and some few Golden Eagles. But here is where I really start to struggle with the level 1 crew. I'm fighting some faster planes and keeping their speed. And because this plane is so good at being slow, if people keep their speed up and they have the energy advantage over you, it's extremely hard to kill them if they play it right. So you'll see me, I'm gonna be chasing this guy for a while. And that's mostly because I need some energy to deal with this guy. And if I just zoom after him, if I dive after him, say, his top speed is a lot higher than mine, I will be wasting a lot of my energy. But if I keep climbing, I'm just climbing in his direction, so it takes longer for him to re-engage me, then I will have a less of an energy difference. Of course, he will still have the energy advantage, and for right now I'm just trying to pretend that I'm not going for the FOU, so he flies right underneath me. And the last place where you want to be versus an A6M is directly below an A6M. You don't want to be right below it, because I can very easily dive on you, and if you try to flee anyway, I can easily cut your flight path off and end up in front of you, making my lower top speed way less of an actual difference. But now the real struggle with the crew points are going to begin, because this guy will not stick on me, which is what he's supposed to do. The thing is, for me to bait him into sticking on me, I need to turn quite hard, I need to stay out of his guns for long enough, but you can see that it's like I'm trying to get him on my 6 for him to turn with me. This is the first time, so he's not really impatient yet, so he's just gonna fly away. All power to him, he should. I'm just shooting my MGs here, trying to get him to move. Didn't manage to get a hit in with a 20 mil, just got a hit with the 7.7s. Trying to get a hit in, maybe he starts moving, maybe he starts panicking, he doesn't. No big deal, he's flying away, so I'm gonna climb behind him. And this is gonna take a while, because he's just gonna fly away, he's gonna try to get above me again. But of course I'm an A6M, I climb a bit better than him, especially on the deck. If we're at 5 to 6 kilometers, yeah, he will start out climbing me, but we're nowhere near that. We're not even at 1 kilometer. Well, now we are, but he's not even above 1 kilometer yet, so it doesn't really matter. He can't really do a lot in this situation. He needs to get very aggressive, maybe push a full commit head on. I need to dodge, and he needs to get a lucky shot in, or he gets a one-shot fire or something like that, which is something I'm not really hoping on, because I can dodge his head on relatively easily if I do have the speed to do so. Of course, right now I'm climbing, I'm trying to not whap as much because I'm overheating my engine quite badly, so I just want to stay behind him. Trying to look at his stat card, seeing how experienced he is, gives a bit of an indication in how impatient this guy might be, how unpredictable he might be. He doesn't seem to have the most amount of experience, but he doesn't die every game. So that already tells me that he at least has some kind of patience. So he's probably going to play it very safe, which is fine with me, but it's something I have to keep in mind. So if he plays it very safe, of course I can't just say that on the stat card, I'm just giving myself an indication here. But if he does that, I need to play it relatively different than someone that's extremely aggressive, trying to push head-ons with me and trying to kill me as fast as he can. Which is, well, it shows that that's clearly not what he's doing. Right now he's climbing a bit to the left. I'm not too sure if you can see it with the YouTube compression, but I can see his dot slowly climbing to the left over here. So I'm gonna cut him off, close the gap a little bit, and hope to get as close to him as I can. But I still want to cut him off because he might dive back to his airfield, which is on my left. So I want to position myself in a way where if he tries to go below me, that I can cut him off, sit on his ass and try to gun him down. Of course, when he stays very fast, that becomes pretty tedious, but it's not much of a problem. I will try to do what I can. He's playing it right now, but you can see that he's not flying directly away from me anymore, so now it looks like I'm catching him. Of course, I'm closing the distance, but I'm pretty confident that he's faster than me at this point. Looking at the map here and there to see where he might go, where the airfield is in relation to us. So I turn a bit more to the left, in case he comes to the left to go for the airfield, so I can get a lot closer. And for now, it's just a waiting game. Just waiting. But all in all, your crew points, and I will already have explained this in the other video if you came from that one, you want to spread them somewhat nicely so you can get the level up. Because the buying the expert crew, I know for some people this is a lot of money, a lot of silver lions, but if it's a plane you're gonna be flying more than just to spade it, I highly recommend you to get it. Here we go. I'm gonna start diving after the P-51 and I'm cutting him off for now because I'm not chasing him directly. Now I am again because he turned a bit to the side, making it so that I can't cut him off. Now he starts to turn and he is still faster than me, keep that in mind. But you can see that I position my nose in front of his flight path. So doing this makes my loop or my flight path a lot shorter to the same distance, to the same spot as him. So I go from A to B in a straight line and he's going from A to B by diving. So he first goes to C and then he extends to B. But you can see that he's so much faster that it's literally no use for me to chase him. And by the time I might get close enough to get a gun solution, I will be absolutely chewed out by AA because I'm still a Japanese plane. I'm not very fast, so I'm not going to risk the fact that AA is going to absolutely melt me. I'm not going anywhere near that. So I want to stay at a reasonable altitude to not get hammered by that AA. And I know I'm getting quite a bit of cuts in this gameplay, and that's because a lot of the gameplay got corrupted, as well as the audio at the start. I'm sorry for that, but it was the first game I did. And I have to say, I really despise flying with a level 1 crew, especially in a Zero. So I decided to call it a day, use it, because it still showcases it very well. At least in a few minutes, or like a minute or two, it will show you how much of a hard time I'm having with a low level crew. So I can get to, I understand the comments now. But for now, the B-17 over here, I need to get him dead before he gets on the runway, because what I don't want him to do is sit on the runway and make me strafe him. Unfortunately, he puts the fire out instantly and he gives me a fuel leak. And this fuel leak is actually gonna be a pretty tedious thing in the end. And I'm saying tedious a lot this video. It's pretty tedious to listen to, I imagine. But the B-17, I thought he was gonna crash. He put the fire out instantly, so he didn't really get damaged. So that's gonna be kind of annoying, so I just wasted my time, my ammo and my fuel. I pulled back in on the head-on there, trying to get a little pop in. And here I turn in front of the P-51 because he's not very fast. So if he tries to get away from me now, it's very hard for him to run away from me. And you can tell that now I start turning quite hard and I'm blacking out. And what I keep doing is I tap my negative elevator. So for me, it's a W key, it noses the plane down. And because I get some negative energy or negative elevator authority, what it does is push some more blood into the head of my pilot, which makes it so that I can turn for longer. But once we start hitting the 700 or the 300 kph mark, there is nothing he's gonna do anymore. And for now I'm just using my MGs, because this guy is so extremely slow. He's not going anywhere. I don't have the most amount of cannon rounds and there's still 2 people left. Now I shoot the cannon because he's basically stalled out. The B-17 crashed on the runway, but he's repairing, and now there's 1 more guy that's left. And I will be just climbing for a little bit. I want to get some altitude because my fuel is going down pretty quickly. So I want to finish this as fast as I can. I see that the A6M and the J2M are chasing some dot towards my position. So I expect him to be here soon. But what I don't want to do right now, even though I'm on the clock, I don't want to fly directly towards him because I'm going to get way too close to the airfield AA on the right here, which is some of the most busted AA in the game in my opinion. So I'm trying to lead him away from the airfield a little bit so that I can properly engage him. So what I do is I get some speed. Of course, getting some speed makes it harder for me to turn because I will pass out, but I want to bait him into the shot, and the F6F doesn't retain energy very well. So what I want to do is get him into the vertical by giving him the illusion of having way more energy, and he does exactly that. He's going to fly in front of me. I get a hit because he's quite of a tank. He's going to try to fly away, realizes he can't, and he's just basically stalled out at this point. So I'm just shooting my MGs to kind of pepper him, kind of weaken him. Well, at that point it didn't really matter anymore because he was literally stalled out. So one of the most important things to keep in mind, I'm just checking if he's going to die to AA because I'm out of fuel. I can't make it to the airfield and I'm not going to be able to kill the B-17 regardless. So I'm just going to glide it out, see what's going to happen. But I hope this gave you a bit of a tip to fly with a level 1 crew, because a lot of you people will fly with a level 1 crew. But do keep in mind if you're on a very low BR, because this is again 4.7. So planes are relatively fast and thus you experience more G-forces. The closing distances are faster, so it's more of a problem. If you buy a high tier premium, you mostly get 1000 GE with it. I kind of recommend you to put 500 to 1000 GE that you get with the pack into the crew points. It makes your plane a lot better. And say you're flying a 109 or a P51 and you're dogfighting a 109 on the P51, the differences in dogfighting are very slim. So if you have to keep tapping your neck G to not pass out, or you keep passing out because you try to maintain the best turn you can have, it's very easy to lose the dogfight because of it. And once you lose control, you all notice you can't fire either, which makes it a very one-sided fight, which is never fun in this game, and you don't want to lose out because your pilot wasn't strong enough. So I'm going to be covering the crew points of the planes very soon here. With a just separate video, will be relatively short. I will tell you what to invest in, some little tips just like this one. I will link this video at the end, which is why I did this video first, because I know that if I upload both of them at the same time, one of them will probably be kind of wasted energy, and this way I have more time in my own schedule to make different videos, so I don't upload 2 videos in a day and then be gone for another 2 weeks, if that makes any sense. So hope this was helpful. Look forward to the video I will be posting here relatively soon, even though a lot of you probably won't even need that kind of explanation. Here's the results. I'm not on a premium account, so forgive my lack of silver lines and stuff. But have a nice weekend and I'll see you in a few days.